Today, a playful squirrel and a dignified 13-year-old cat are the best of friends, spending their days side by side in peaceful companionship. But their heartwarming story began years ago with a dramatic twist of fate. Dean Anderson, 38, had loved animals for as long as he could remember. At home, he cared for two beautiful cats, siblings named Tiger and Coco, who were more like family than pets. Little did he know his quiet household was about to welcome a very unexpected guest. One day, Dean saw from the window of his house a little baby squirrel fall from a tall tree in his garden. The cub fell to the ground from a huge height of a 4-story building. When the baby fell, he hit a branch hard and received a deep wound on his chest. Dean realized that it was impossible to intervene until the mother's squirrel came to help. Otherwise, she might never come near her cub again. Soon, the adult squirrel did indeed come down from the treetop and scrutinize the cub, but apparently deeming his wounds fatal. The mother squirrel abandoned the little squirrel and fled into the forest, certain that she could not save him. Dean simply could not leave the exhausted creature alone in the garden, for then sure death would have awaited. The man gently lifted the squirrel in his arms and brought it home, realizing that there was not a second to lose. Dean started his car and headed to the vet. Fortunately, the wounds of the cub, who was only 1 month old at the time, were not life-threatening, and the vets were able to give the baby squirrel all the care needed, realizing that the baby squirrel would need to be cared for by someone, and it would certainly not survive alone in the wild. Dean decided to take the baby to his home and gave it a funny nickname, Tintin. As it turns out, keeping squirrels at home is illegal in Denmark, so the man had to spend a lot of time to legalize his right to look after a lonely baby squirrel. When Dean brought Tintin home, the reaction of his pet cats was very different. Coco immediately began licking and cuddling the baby squirrel, showing her maternal feelings. Tiger, on the contrary, looked indifferently at the unfamiliar animal and immediately left the room, not wanting to have anything to do with him. Returning, the cat saw that his sister had already taken Tintin under her care, but despite this, he decided to ignore the small rodent. Coco spent days and nights by Tintin's side, grooming and playing with him. Tintin loved to play with his foster mother, as well as with Dean's 2 growing children at the same time. Tiger still passed by the squirrel, as if not noticing him. Unfortunately, a year later, the kind kitty died in her sleep, and it was a very hard loss for her brother. Tiger felt the loss of his sister very hard, constantly looking for her all over the house and calling her. But life went on, and at one point, the tiger realized that Coco would never come back to him. And then something truly incredible happened. The cat gradually began to grow, attached to Tintin, and started spending more and more time with him. The relationship developed over time, and after a few months, the squirrel and the cat even became inseparable. Friends, they now take walks together, climb trees, and play in the garden and outside the house. When they meet, they always greet each other by poking each other with their little spouts. Tintin not only sleeps and eats next to his older friend, but also all the time. Squirrel loves to ride Tiger, and it looks very funny if they see danger on a walk, a hawk, a cat, or even a dog. Tiger always fiercely defends his little friend. Regardless of the size and aggressiveness of the opponent, Tiger has become something like a big brother or even an adoptive father to Tintin. The cat remains ever watchful, always ready to protect his tiny squirrel companion. With a calm yet confident demeanor, he carries himself like the leader of their unlikely duo, as if proudly declaring himself the mane of the pair. Their friendship, which has lasted for years, continues to amaze everyone who sees them together. This remarkable bond between a wild creature and a house pet is a powerful reminder that true friendship knows no boundaries, not of species nor of circumstance.